Hello everyone, I'm Pastor Philip Johnson. I head up the patient coordinator department here at Sponaugle Wellness with Dr. Rick Sponaugle. Treats people from all over the United States, Canada, even around the world. We've had quite a few international patients in our facility here in the last 12 months. We've seen some incredible things happening. People returning to their life happy and healthy, folks coming out of wheelchairs, and we love to tell these stories because they give us all encouragement. Today we have a very special person with us today. Tell us your first name.
My name is Miles.
And Miles, where are you from?
I'm from Floyd's Knobs, Indiana.
Indiana, all right. So we got all that out of the way. We want to talk about you and what's going on. So let's go back in time. Let's go back in history. Before you came here, you were sick. Were you suffering? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it started with it started off as a high anxiety is the best way to describe it. You know, just worrying every day when I woke up about things that hadn't even, transpired throughout the day so far. Worry. And then that eventually grew into almost crippling anxiety where I couldn't leave my house. I was getting sick all the time from little things, catching colds here and there, just things that,
So your immune system
was shot, yeah. Okay. And overall, I just felt, I could feel in my soul that I was not myself. I knew that something was wrong. But I attributed it to, everybody in this world suffers from some sort of anxiety, so I figured, maybe that's what it was.
What you said right there, you just didn't feel yourself. I often hear from folks that call me that I'm disconnected from myself.
That's a very good way to put it.
That's probably the way that you were feeling at that time. So how was this affecting, were you able to work? Were you in school? Was it changing your lifestyle?
I always have been an early riser. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm at work at 6, and I usually get off around 3 o'clock. The past 2 years, especially this past year, I noticed just a huge drop in motivation just to even get up and get out and just to stay at work. Things were just so different, and my friends noticed it, my family noticed it, and toward the last couple of months before I came here, I even started to notice it myself. So
energy levels were gone.
Totally gone, yeah.
We see this a lot. Lyme disease, mold toxicity, environmental poisonings often result in your adrenals are in the tank, your testosterone, your hormones are suppressed, and all of this leads to incredible fatigue. Even trying to think.
Everything.
Process thoughts. It's not just about getting out of bed. It's about, my head hurts trying to make this work.
To give you a perfect example, I've been doing the same job for 6 years, and this past year I was having trouble remembering how to operate a mower that I had been on since the past 6 years I've been working there. I just found little things like that starting to go wrong,
Isn't that horrible that you hear something I know how to do, I've got the skill to do it, and suddenly today I'm looking at this piece of equipment or this job task, and what do I do first? It's like you had somebody wash part of your memory away overnight.
Yeah, needless to say, when you ask your boss who you've known that entire time, hey, what about this? And he gives you that look, almost as if, what are you on? But it's just, that's how it was. It really was like that for me, and it was scary toward the latter parts there because, I really did think something was wrong.
Yeah. Well, and it is frightening because you're thinking, what's happening to me? Is this a disease that, how serious this is going to get? Memory loss, cognitive skills, recall issues, depression, word recall, reading a paragraph over and over, trying to comprehend what it means. These are common symptoms of Lyme disease. So let's jump to this. When you came here, tell us in your own words some of the things that you discovered. We do the proprietary testing up front.
Yes,
we look at over 500, nearly 600 numbers.
Yes.
We create this biochemical blueprint of you, of Miles. Here's what's going on. Everything.
The way that he broke it down for me and made me even be able to understand what it was that I was looking at was very good.
Can you remember anything from that first visit you were here? Going back to them, what did he say was going on with you?
Of course. Well, my first visit when I was here, it was in December. And I was here with my mother, my sister, and my father. We had all had our tests done. My mother had been pretty ill, but had made a drastic improvement.
Yes.
But he showed me mine, and as he looked at it, he pulls it out, and he said, "Oh."
He made that part.
Well, he's like, and that's what scared me at first because I didn't know what all this meant. But he showed me that picture of my slide there, and it was just crazy looking. Like my red blood cells just had all that blue. I don't even know what the words are to describe it. Yeah, it was just covered. And I knew right then and there, I was like, wow. And he told me himself, he's like, you've been sick for 7 years and you probably haven't even known it. Slipping slower and slower. And it made sense because, you know, I graduated in 08 and, you know, just by as the years gone by, which was, you know, about the time I got out of high school, he was referring to, you know, around that time. My senior year and after that, I just noticed a deepened depression.
Struggling.
Just everything, yeah. Going downhill at a faster pace.
For those of you that are watching this, what Miles is referring to, we have these slides where blood, a small speck of blood, is magnified over and over, 400 times in one slide, 1,000 times in another slide. It's very important for us because we can magnify that blood to such a degree that we can literally see parasites, identify those parasites, and then that blue you were talking about that showed up on the slide, they're going to use dye to cause contrast on those slides, and so that's biofilm that's created from the Lyme. And so what he saw when Dr. Sponaugle looked at that, he saw your biofilm, he saw the parasites that were there as well, which, by the way, that was December. Okay, we're in March right now.
March
and
now.
Which I think did you treat continually or did you take some time off?
I took a break in December and came back January 12th.
All right, so from January until now, 3 months basically.
Yes, sir.
You recently had another look at that same slide.
Yes.
What did it look like now?
My red bloods, everything was cleared. It's actually amazing, man. Like my, you know, the Lyme spots, the black mold that showed where everything was affected, was solid, was gone. Like I literally I almost like broke out in tears because I prayed, you know, that this day was coming. And when I got here that day, Amy, my nurse, you know, showed me my things, and we all jumped up and gave each other hugs.
Hallelujah!
It was a really emotional experience. You know, it's something that just, you know, and I felt better in myself. It's an amazing. It's almost a miracle, you know.
It is a miracle, and I'm so glad you mentioned God and prayer because we do that a lot around here. We need the God component in the healing aspect. And again, for you folks that are watching, what Miles is referring to is at that 3rd month we repeated some of these tests, and that slide was clean. And we'll show some pictures of that on the website. If you go on there, you'll see some of that on the website as well. You mentioned mold a little while ago. So you had a mold issue coming in here as well.
Oh yes. My parents' basement, like I said, and Sponaugle will recognize this, from 7 years ago they had their roof redone, which was not done properly.
Okay.
So a leak had occurred, and the leak had gone down into the basement, which is where, you know, it just happened to be I spent most of my time.
That's where you were.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it must have been there years and years because we didn't find it until a couple of years ago. It started to literally rot its way through a concrete wall. You know, and even then at that time we didn't know about, you know, Sponaugle or any of this. We just, you know, knew we had black mold.
Didn't know how dangerous it was.
Didn't know how dangerous it was until my mother started to, you know, slip a little bit off there, and then, you know, that was a dark time there. That was probably the darkest time for me. But you know, luckily her sister had somebody who was in contact with Dr. Sponaugle, got her down here, and I just wish people could see if my mom, from before when she first came here to now, is almost like it's 100% turnaround, you know. And my mom was diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia by 3 different doctors in the state of Louisville, in the state of Kentucky, who said, you know, just to basically go home and enjoy your time with her. It's going to progressively get worse, but that's simply not the case now. And it's just, like I said, the only word that I can describe really in detail is a miracle.
Yeah, I look back at those early times when we spoke with your family, your sister, your mother, and what a beautiful family. And your mother,
appreciate that.
Such a joy to see her. Beautiful woman, your dad, and the recovery has been incredible.
And that's the thing. It's just, you know, it's almost as if I've gotten my mom back in a sense, you know, and that's
so wonderful.
That's a huge thing because, you know, I was going down a dark road there during that time that we were discussing what was going to happen with her, but to see her now, you know, she's happy. You know, she might not, you know, have 100% every day, but she, compared to where she was, where she couldn't make a phone call, she couldn't drive herself, it's just so different.
It is so different.
It's amazing to me. I'll
you
be
as well.
forever grateful. Oh, for me as well
when
too.
you first came here, you were kind of shut down mentally. You were communicating.
Totally.
You weren't communicating.
Not at all.
Depressed.
Still very depressed.
And
very, man. I didn't. I honestly didn't know what to think about this whole thing. I was a little nervous about it, but just it's the complete opposite. The staff here is almost like a family.
Yes.
And within, after the second month or about the fourth week I was here, my sister who was here with me had left, and I was by myself. And I thought, then on that this was going to be a nightmare, but it turned out to be the opposite. Everybody was taking care of me. Anything that I needed was, I had help with. It's a place that you don't see much of these days, and that's why it's just such a great thing. It really is.
It's wonderful. Not only the staff. The staff is your best friend. They just really look out for you. But I got to say something about Sponaugle patients.
Oh,
they're here from all over the United States,
over.
Canada, around the world.
I've met from Canada, from Egypt. There's a lady from Egypt here. And they're just, you form that support group with those people. And
everybody's looking out for everybody.
And they really do, and it's a great feeling.
And do you know why that is? I'll tell you the component of that, and for folks that are watching this, is that for many of these people, this is the first time in their life that their illness has been understood. Their family has not understood what they're going through.
No.
They've been looked at as, you're making this up, you're crazy, something's going on with you, and this can't, there's no evidence that you're sick, but you've been sick, you've been suffering, and now for the first time, these people are with not only other patients, but a staff that understands their illness, what Lyme disease, or Rocky Mountain, or protozoa, or Bartonella, or Babesia, trichothecene, ochratoxin, all these different components, what they do to the body, and so it just pulls us all together. Because it's kind of in your face to all this stuff. We're beating this stuff.
Oh yeah.
We're overcoming this stuff. Let's talk briefly about your day-to-day here. What was that like? So these people understand. What was it like coming here every day?
I came here in the early mornings. I got here at 9 o'clock every day. I would get my drips. The IV staff here. I'm terrified of needles, but the IV staff here made it so easy just to deal with. Some days I didn't even feel my IV, and it's just, I overgrew one of my worst fears while I was down here. But it was comfortable, man. Like, I'm from southern Indiana where it's really cold, and down here, you're in Florida.
Yeah.
And like you said, you got this great group of people, the patients, that being the staff. It was a good experience, man. Like, I didn't feel at one time like I was institutionalized or anything like that.
No way. No way. You chose to get daily infusions. So every day you got here, you got a little poke, and they did their IV
And
drip.
the thing was, is like each day that I did that, I knew that I was doing things to better myself. Everything that I was doing eventually was going to lead to a better outcome.
Yes. Well, that's a good way of thinking about it. Some folks choose, as you've seen, they get a PICC line put in or a midline, and because they don't want to be, poked every day.
True.
We'll do it either way.
Yeah. The PICC, the needle scared me, but the PICC line scared me more. So I just stayed with the needles.
Well, today is your last day with us. You're going home, exit day, and
Yes.
obviously there's been a change. You've been transformed while you've been here, and
So much so, yes.
we're so excited about that.
Yes.
You're young. You got a life ahead of you, a future to take on, and you understand so much about all this now.
Yes.
That is just freedom, first of all, just understanding.
It is, and just to even be able to pass that understanding on to other friends of mine, who one of my best friends who I know probably has the same condition I have. He same situation. His parents' house was moldy. He'll be coming down here, and it's just the word of mouth that just spreads, that can get this out there to people know, is the most important thing, because this is just, like I said, it's almost miracle work. It's incredible.
It's incredible what happens. Let me stress a couple things to you folks as you're watching this. Miles came to us and really started the treatment in January. Here we are almost at the end of March.
Yes, sir.
And you came to us with Lyme, you had Bartonella, you had Protozoa rheumatica, Babesia, mold, several types of mold going on.
What was that other one?
Well, there's tricho mold, trichothecene mold, ochratoxin mold.
I had them all.
Had them all. You were just collecting everything.
Yes. like I said, because I was so sick upon arrival, there was nothing I could do.
Immune system is compromised.
shot,
and,
yeah.
You're not detoxing and
Nothing.
And we in our exit, we'll have supplements that are going to help you.
Oh, yes.
To stay in that detox position, so you
Yeah.
can continue. If we never want you going back into a moldy environment.
No, never.
In fact, your parents' home, the basement, all that's been
Yes.
fixed since
It's
then.
that's all been fixed. I've actually since moved into my own new house, which probably actually as we speak right now is getting checked for mold.
Check
so.
for mold.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here, folks, is that mold is always a moisture problem. If you have moisture in your home, in your office, these type of things, a roof that's leaked, a pipe that's broke, humidity levels that are extremely high, a shower that doesn't ventilate properly and it just gets a lot of water built up in it. These are all situations that are capable of growing and producing mold. And the mold will produce a biotoxin, and you will ingest that, breathe it in, which then can compromise and cause a host of issues that you have to deal with.
Yes.
All right, Miles. Well, this has been wonderful sharing
Yes,
this
sir.
with you. Today's your day leaving. I think you got
Yes,
a
sir.
follow-up visit with Doc here today before
Yes.
you go out the doors. And I want to thank you, and these
Oh,
folks
well.
thank you for sharing this testimony.
No, well, I want to thank these people and definitely thank you too for helping me along the way there every way you could. And yeah, for all the people back home, just hope is the best thing to have in faith, because that's what got me through it. And before I came down here, I didn't really, believe in that much. But when you have nothing else to hold on to, it's the best thing to do. And trust me, I got to where I am today, and I'm very happy to be going home. But there's still a lot of people that struggle out there, and this is a place that can help. So